I was going to see if you knew the song.
Oh, is that not
It's
it?
this one right here.
It's this one. It's always this
Is it really?
Yes, it's really this
I believe
one.
it because it could be.
Go ahead.
It could be this song.
This episode is made possible by our therapy partners, Dirty B, Myra, and Pickett. From fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Pod Therapy. Real people, real problems, and real therapists. You can submit your questions anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. And now, broadcasting from the churn, that guy is the guy formerly known as Dr. Jim.
God
That's
damn it.
Whitney. I'm Nick. It's time for some Pod Therapy.
I think I need to gamble more.
Mr. Jobin.
Just that. Somebody, one of the listeners messaged me, God bless them, and said, hey, maybe potential copyright infringement. I heard your theme song somewhere else on the internet. I prefer not to say where, but it showed up.
We know where.
Yeah,
We all know where when you
100%
prefer not to
aware.
say.
That's our number one advertising medium. Like,
Yes.
for whatever reason, that's where we
Yeah.
advertise.
Shit. Oh, God.
Nope,
Every
let it
time
go.
it just
Let's
keeps...
It's been 6 years,
I
man.
know,
Just-
but we've got to get rid of
we
it.
really don't. Let's just
Yes.
embrace it. Let's let's
Oh.
keep going.
We're going to get
You
rid
know
of it.
what? Never mind.
I just got to get...
I'll tell
I
Nick
just have
later.
I just have to find time to do it.
I know it will never change because of just pure lethargy. I can just trust that he will never do it, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I like it.
I have to stop making T-shirts.
No,
I
don't do
Why
that.
do you like it?
I'm fine with it. I don't know. It's come
I'm
on,
gonna put
man.
a
It's been
different
6
song
years.
in.
It's been 6
I'm just gonna put a
years.
different song.
You're
in.
just gonna start dropping new mixes.
Yeah.
That's probably fine. I'm sure that'll turn out really well. Exciting show today where Jim is in charge of trivia, which I'm really looking forward to. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I want 10 inches in my mouth. Wow, there are some weird drops. I keep forgetting he has those. I wish those didn't exist. Anyway, great stuff. Don't forget to check out patreon.com/therapy for all the extra goodies and all the fun times. Here are personal stories. You can find out how Whitney's ducks are doing, how Jim's baseball extravaganza went, and all the fun things we've put in our mouths.
Spoiler: Whitney cooked them ducks.
Killed them
There's
all.
no more ducks.
Yep.
What's the Patreon level for you to
Eat
cook
the ducks.
and kill
Ew,
and eat a duck?
no, there isn't one.
$10,000.
No.
Cash money in this
She would do
briefcase.
it. She'd do it for 10 grand. Jacob keeps duck killing money underneath his desk. Just in case.
Just slides it over an
Untraceable
envelope.
gold bars.
There's a small black velvet bag filled with diamonds, loose diamonds.
But I want to watch.
Jacob just sent it to me in Bitcoin.
He'll do it. You have no idea how big into this killing ducks thing he is.
Yeah.
All right, we got
I do love to eat ducks, though.
Oh, duck is
delicious.
Duck is.
I don't
really
know
good.
if I've ever had duck.
Oh, that's good.
Duck is a good.
Wait.
Duck is a food that can very easily be messed up too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like don't get it at a shitty place.
Get it at
I-
Whitney's.
Thought
Yeah.
that we brought Thai food over and it had duck in it, but maybe I'm making that up.
Maybe I did.
You are a liar.
I lie sometimes. Am I lying
Well, if
now?
you didn't know you
I
had
assume
it,
yes.
then that
It
counts. You
probably
didn't
is,
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true.
If you
Did
didn't
you
have
quack
it, yeah,
afterward? Then you didn't have it.
it's true.
Maybe
Unless
not.
you've
Maybe I
had-
didn't bring it over, but I
Slap
thought I
your
did.
mama quack duck.
There used to be a place in the Cosmo. I wonder if it's still there. I say that because I don't remember what it was called. But it overlooked the strip from the tower there. It was beautiful. And they would do a whole roast duck, like carved table side and everything. You couldn't order it with less than 4 people to eat on it because it was a ridiculous amount of food. But it was fucking delicious. It was like $400.
I'm sold.
But
So
it was
Whitney's
so
for dinner,
delicious.
guys.
Yeah.
Going over there. All right.
Whitney, prep us some duck.
Very
I'll
tender
bring
and
the
young.
l'orange. Is that what you eat it with?
You're gonna bring an orange.
That's it. Yeah. I don't really do the Spanish thing.
Spanish.
We've got some great questions today. The first one is fantastic. Not gaslamping other people. Hi, Pod Therapy.
Lamping?
Go on.
In a previous relationship, my now ex told me that she felt that I had been gaslamping her. This always left me feeling incredibly confused because I'd certainly never intentionally done so. However, my mental health has waxed and waned, especially toward the end of my last relationship. So it's not like it's impossible. My processing style is very logical and verbal. And that often felt anathema to her processing style. She would say how she was feeling upset about something, and my first response was often to try to figure out logically why I had done the thing she was upset about. She, in turn, would feel as though I was trying to overrule her feelings. by explaining my actions. For what it's worth, I've since learned that that's a pretty bad way to resolve conflict. From my side of the court, I never meant to gaslamp her. My goal was to explain my actions in a way that humanized me, but I probably failed at that and instead made her feel as though I was trying to convince her that she was wrong for feeling that way. I've done a lot of work in the years since that relationship, and what brought this up again was me talking to my current partner about conflict resolution styles. She is much more of a logical processor than my ex, which I think makes us a better match in general. Still, she brought up that sometimes the way I process things makes her feel like I'm not hearing what she has to say. To be honest, that's totally fair, and something that I'm actively working on. I can definitely see how if I took another step in the manipulative or unhealthy direction, my processing style could indeed turn into gaslamping. So, how do I avoid letting my processing style turn into gaslamping? Thanks, Alec. P.S. Yes, I know that the term is gaslighting. I was intentionally gaslighting you about the term gaslighting.
Well played.
All right.
No, but it
got us.
it is gaslamping. I don't know why he thinks it's gaslighting.
Yeah, it's weird that he says it
it's-
differently.
Double
it is very
gaslighting.
Wait,
strange.
what?
Something must be wrong.
Can't
you-
out gaslight us.
Are you mansplaining this?
Yeah, get him, Nick.
I-
Get in there deep.
Well, before the discovery of electricity, I mean, it obviously
Right.
was gas-lamping at that point.
Yeah, or
Yep.
oil, whale oil lamping,
Yeah.
I believe is what it was.
That's right.
That's what I used
Gas whale oil lamping
That's
is what they would refer to it
whale
as.
oil, yeah. This is a good question. So, okay, Nick, I feel like you could have written this question.
shit.
Yeah, this is you.
I would bet if
You see where I'm
Yeah,
going with this,
oh,
right, Nate?
totally.
Yeah, 100%.
I do. Sorry,
so,
Nick.
How this turned to me.
look, just
Because
this,
you wrote this
look,
question. You're not Alec.
This whole show doesn't exist. This has all been an intervention.
Fair.
It's been 6 years to get you in the chair. We finally got your guard down.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are what I would consider a stoic guy. You know.
I cried during a State Farm commercial earlier
Well,
this
who
evening.
doesn't? I mean, they're pretty exciting. You know, there's a lot going on.
Those
He
cavemen.
cried at Iowa game.
I think that's Geico.
It is.
You know what?
No, that's State Farm. It's definitely State Farm.
What? Oh, yeah, okay.
The
So
cavemen.
Are we just gonna gaslight each other with this whole question?
This whole show. This whole show.
Polly
that's
Mustang.
the new
Polly
move.
Mustang.
Okay, now gaslight the other people. There is no show. What are you talking about? We're all just hanging out. So you're a logical guy. Tend to be, you know, kind of like hear what people say and kind of go, okay, you're mathing that in your head. But then sometimes they might say, well, I don't feel like I was heard by you, or like you're just telling me I'm wrong. Like, no, I'm not. I'm just relating in the way of examining. And it sounds like that's what Alec's talking about here.
Yes.
Like he is a scientist, he's a physicist, he's thinking carefully about things, and then it sounds like he's being dismissive or somehow making the other person feel like their motives are being questioned or their analysis is being questioned, but that's how he's processing it.
Yes.
So I imagine you relate to some of that.
So is this a problem for me? Yeah. Yeah. It's clearly a problem. Yeah. Well, and it is a challenge, and I definitely see where he's coming from, because like if somebody and this is the thing that sucks, is like there's no way for me to explain it where I'm not the asshole.
No, we all agree you're the asshole. We're just giving you a chance to get it out.
But like if you're having a conversation with somebody and it's just kind of going back and forth, blah blah blah, talking about whatever, and
blah, 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 my parents died in a crash, blah,
expressing
blah, blah.
opinions and whatnot.
I'm sorry for your loss, blah, blah, blah.
But then somebody says something that's like, well, no, that's actually not true.
Uh-huh.
Like it's not an opinion.
Yeah.
It's factually inaccurate. Like there's no way to bring that up and like to have that conversation, because like if you do that, then it's like then you're like, okay, but you're not hearing me. You're not hearing. It's like no, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that part's wrong. Actually, it
Well, it's like
no,
it's so wrong.
So like my
it does.
one of
And it
my-
goes wrong all the
One
time.
of my fondest memories of my father actually happened the night that he passed away. He and I walked the entire Las Vegas Strip, like all 32 miles of the Las Vegas Strip from the Sahara all the way down to the Mandalay Bay. We walked all 32 miles of the
32
strip.
miles.
Like, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
you'd be like,
Yeah.
I have to
You
correct
should,
that
you
mileage.
should know it's not
That's-
32 miles. It's probably more
Yeah.
like 5. Yeah. That's
See, now he's doing it.
no, he's
No,
making
I'm
fun of
asking
you.
you.
Oh, yeah.
We're
that's-
both
yeah,
making fun of
My
you right
dad is
now.
still
Gotcha,
alive.
gotcha.
We never made
His
this
dad
walk.
isn't dead.
That's the thing. It just doesn't make sense. I never heard this before.
Yeah.
No, but that's
He was trying to be empathetic, and then he was
Yeah.
like, but he's stuck on the 32 miles.
Yes.
Just Nick was genuinely stuck
mean,
on
like-
the 32 miles.
God, even in the
Going like,
illustration,
I have
it was
to
like,
correct this.
yeah, no, that's inaccurate, right? Like, you didn't catch the other 90% of that
Nick's face
metaphor.
was like, I feel bad for Jacob. I didn't know
Wow.
this, but like
I
that
didn't know his
mileage
dad
is
was
wrong.
dead. This sounds like a nice evening that he and his dad shared.
God damn. Wow.
Okay, so Alec,
He was
I
trying
get
to
it. I
assist
get
you
it.
with
I
an
don't know.
example.
I don't know what to
You
do.
fell for the
I don't know
example.
what to do here. Because yes, that's clearly.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't feel like I was being that vague.
It really wasn't. It really was handed to him. You put the ball on the tee.
No, we're giving you a hard time.
Yeah,
Nick.
but really, like I guess that's a good example.
So if you heard that story genuinely,
Yeah.
you would be stuck on like the strip is not 32 miles long.
Okay, so not necessarily in that specific example because yes,
You'd be more
that-
upset that I said the Sahara
No,
and
no,
not
no.
the stratosphere.
Yeah, no, like it would definitely register with me, or like, okay, well, that's not right. But I have enough sense to be like, okay, but that doesn't relate to the story. I can stick with the story and not get caught up in that.
So if
But
somebody's
if
telling
something
you,
is something directly involved with, okay, so we're
Yeah.
having a conversation about Boeing and all the problems that they're having with their airplanes.
Boeing, there's a W
Whatever.
in it.
Oh, we're gaslighting still. I forgot. So, fuck, that
I
threw
know.
me off.
I know. I was like, yeah.
All right. Feels like there should be.
There's actually, there's no W.
Oh,
in
is that what
You have
you
to say it out loud.
I have
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
can't
yeah.
let it go.
No, but if it's like you and Laura or something, or
Yeah.
like you and your sibling or your parent,
Yes.
and y'all are going back and forth, like, well, Nick, you didn't do this and this, right? Or whatever, like if your parents talking to you, it's like,
Well, actually.
well,
this,
no,
that, and the
I
other.
didn't say that. I actually said that. Let me get my text message up and like
Yeah.
show you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like, if it's factually incorrect,
And
I
there's
have
an
a tough
emotional
time-
reaction
Right.
based on that fact.
yeah, I have a tough time letting that go
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, but like, how do I continue with that conversation and just overlook
Right.
the fact that this was all like the error is
Right.
the central piece to
Which
this
I'll
whole
defend
thing.
you for a second.
Okay.
So this comes up a lot in couples therapy.
Yes.
Where somebody will say they're insensitive, they were dismissive about this, that, or the other thing. And then the other person will be like, oh no, you believe that I was, but here's where you misunderstood my intentions of this other statement. And then the other person will be like, see, Jim, look, they're gaslighting me, or they're not taking my feelings seriously. They're trying to correct me and tell me that my emotions are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But person A, the Nick in this situation, or Spock, I think is the code word for this.
I think that's his name. Yeah.
Nick
Yeah,
Spock.
that's what his
It's
shirt
fine, I'll
says.
take
Yeah,
that.
Vulcan. I mean, honestly,
It's a compliment.
Spock's
I know.
actually pretty fucking cool. So.
Spock is cool. I
Yeah,
like
it's
Spock.
pretty amazing.
I just watched the new Chris Pine Star
so
Trek.
good.
New.
What? Just
yeah.
now in 2024?
Yeah.
God damn. That's
yeah.
10, 15 years old?
That's not a bad movie.
But it's amazing.
It's good, right?
It settled down.
That's
It's
JJ.
good.
I liked it.
It was entertaining.
For
I like
Star
it.
in the pantheon of Star
Yes.
Trek movies, it's great.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time with the lens flares. I get a little
Yeah.
annoyed with the lens flares, but they work.
They use them a lot.
Star
I
Trek-
noticed the lens
The
flares as
third
well.
one was a pile of dog shit.
Yeah, I
That's the
didn't
one
see
they
that
let who's the guy from remember that British guy in the zombie movie?
I'm going to need you to be more specific.
You really
British
don't.
Guy in
No,
the zombie
You really
movie.
don't.
No, Simon Pegg.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nick speaks Jim.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Translate. Yeah.
He honestly does at this point. I'll say something, he'll be like, "Oh, hold on,
British guy,
I know where
zombie
you're going.
movie.
That's it."
Got it.
He wrote that one. He wrote number 3. It's a pile of dog shit,
Okay.
and it mostly features his character. Unironically, numbers 1 and 2 are amazing. Where were we at? Couples therapy.
Yeah.
So this will happen where the person's like, "Oh, they're minimizing me, they're dismissing me," but I understand the Nick in the situation or the Alec in the situation because they're like, "Oh no, the problem seems to have originated with this misunderstanding. I'm trying to help you and remove the discomfort you're feeling by correcting this, not dismiss you. I'm trying to heal you. The other person, of course, feels like, no, you're dismissing me and you're telling me I'm wrong. And that's a fine line, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you say like, man, I'm really uncomfortable, Jim, since you revealed that you're so anti-Semitic. I'm like, what? Tell me what it is I said. And like, oh, you said this thing. You made this joke. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say this word. Mm-hmm. And like, okay, well, you're still kind of uncomfortable, but it sounds like I'm being dodgy and defensive, when in reality, I feel like I'm doing you a favor by like fixing that. That's where people come from. Ironically, it's not very helpful.
Something that came to mind for me is a conflict I had with a really, really good friend of mine do you do podcasts
it came to light. With this friend?
It came to light last year. I'm going to cover Nick up. So
yeah, just
earmuffs.
Yeah.
No, it came to light last year, but with really close friend of mine, and turns out while we were having a little reunion and we're having some drinks, and it comes out, she says, oh, this thing that you said to me like years before, this thing you said to me was really hurtful.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my goodness. I just immediately in the moment, because again, drinks were had, and it was like kind of came up a little sporadically.
Right.
And so I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you felt that way, or that I made you feel that way. And I kind of left it at that, because I'm like, I'm not going to dive into it right now. And we actually had a third friend who's like pretty close with us in the room. And so
this is your HOA meeting.
Yes. Yeah. Tabled it. Tabled it till the next HOA meeting a month later. But no, I followed up with her like, a couple days later after we had finished our visit. And I said, hey, I want to have like a conversation about what was brought up. And she was like, me too. So we talked through it, and I had a really hard time with this because I felt so bad that I had hurt her. She's the sweetest. And I was just like, how do I explain to her that I didn't mean to hurt her, but not invalidate her feelings? And I really relate to and from a totally different perspective, because I am not the logical, like, Spock person.
I consider you more of a Captain Kirk. Rough and tumble.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take Captain Kirk. Mm-hmm. But
Paul gets it. Call Paul. He gets it.
I won't.
But I found myself in this situation really having a hard time letting go of the fact that I didn't want her to see me as the type of person that would say that with those intentions.
Right.
And so sometimes I wonder if when in relationships, talk about couples therapy, and Alec is saying like in this last relationship I had, and even in his current one a little bit, what can happen sometimes in the moment is, you're trying to relieve the other person's pain for sure, but I wonder how much is like relieving our own uncomfortability.
Right. I don't want to be perceived as something that I don't believe I am.
Mm-hmm. But really at the end of the day, the route I decided to take with this friend when we revisited, 90% of that conversation was me just apologizing for what I said, because I never want to hurt her.
Right.
And I'm so sorry that I even said or asked that. That actually was kind of insensitive of me to say this thing like at that time.
Do you realize now that her name is pronounced Kunt?
No.
There's an O in it.
Yeah. It's C.
I'm like,
It's got an umlaut above the
that's
U.
what it was.
Yeah.
She's Swedish, you racist.
Yeah.
But it's so hard because I was really torn about that. Like, nobody wants to be seen as like I'm hurting my partner, and that's what they're kind of saying. They're saying you hurt me, and you're like, no, I would never want to hurt you. Especially
tricky.
Kind people, like. That logical brain is not trying to hurt anyone, but it's like, it's kind of like swallowing your pride and just saying it doesn't fucking matter if it doesn't matter what's right or wrong. I'm sorry that you're in that space of hurt, and I'll try and do better.
Who doesn't want to clean their name though, right?
Yeah,
like,
no,
it doesn't matter.
I said this. I really don't want you to perceive me as that, because that's not accurate.
That's your own
I'm not
ego.
trying to bail myself out or
I don't
invalidate
know
you.
how an umlaut
you.
works. I don't know what it does.
I just don't know.
So intellectually, I agree with you. And intellectually, I know you're right.
Yeah.
But emotionally, you're a bitch.
Emotionally,
And nobody likes you.
It's so hard to do because it's almost kind of like...
But you're an excellent driver.
Yeah.
Compliment sandwich.
Yeah, there it is. Get it all around. Yeah.
Yes, got it. Excellent driver.
It would be like if Jim came up to me and was like, hey, you know what? I'm really upset at you that you keyed my car. That really bothers me.
Right.
I'm really upset
This
about that.
premise is false.
And then, so then it's like,
Yeah.
but I didn't actually do that.
Wow, you're really defensive and invalidating of my feelings.
Right. And so it's like, I know
that's
to
a fact.
repair.
My car was
That's a
keyed.
fact, though.
Why do you not care?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We could do
That's
this.
it.
Let's role
That's
play
it.
a better
No.
one. We could do another one. We could do another one.
Like, what about something ambiguous? Like Jim comes to you and says, "Hey, your tone of voice."
Yeah.
Or like,
you came off.
or yeah,
aggressive and, like,
you seemed like
okay.
really confrontational.
Okay.
Oh, that's
I
tough.
can totally understand that. Like
Yeah.
I am the thing
You
that
bitch.
the thing that gets
Why are you reading into this?
You bitch.
the thing that gets me tripped up is about facts.
Okay.
I don't get so
God, this is such a Nick Tangeman statement.
I do
Yeah.
no
We
I
literally have a Patreon
I
feud
can
going on
relate-
right now where he does this.
I can
Go on.
relate both to both of these, like because I'm guilty on both sides,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
So I definitely understand, like if someone says to me like, okay, you were very insensitive, or
Oh, that's rough,
you
though.
took a very rough tone with me, or something like that, and I would genuinely feel like, well, I didn't mean to,
Right.
or yes, I did because you were 3 rooms away and I was trying to get your
I was just,
attention.
yeah,
I was like,
using
whatever.
high volume, but not aggression.
Exactly. Yeah. But it doesn't
I
really
like how
matter.
you raise your voice at me. Like I was
And-
just
and-
trying to be heard.
And with that, I'm much better at being able to say to myself, okay, I know I didn't mean for that,
Right.
but the person interpreted it that way,
Which is
So,
huge.
so that's what I have to go off of.
The
I have
result
to,
You can be
there.
right or you can be happy.
exactly.
Yeah,
I have to
right.
go off of their
Yeah.
perceptions.
Yes,
because
yes.
that's ultimately what really matters.
And that is a hard debate to have internally. Like,
Sure.
their perception of me was this.
You're like, I know
my
I'm right.
intention was not that.
Yeah.
I would like them to understand my perception. That's probably not Act 1.
Exactly. It's,
At the
and it's
very
not gonna-
least,
Probably just
now
doing
is not the best time to have that part of this conversation.
We will circle back to that later.
Or we
Or
won't.
not.
yeah. Yeah, there-
Maybe we just won't. Maybe I'll just say I'm sorry for sounding aggressive, and we'll just move on from that.
Yes.
agree.
Yes.
I
Jacob's
think
got
we're all
it.
learning a lot about each other.
We are. This is
I
interesting.
think we should go to camp out. I think we should go to camp
We
out.
are going to in August.
By the way,
What?
I'm not suggesting that I'm good at this in practice.
I
I'm
know.
saying that I understand what it is.
yeah, in practice, it's
I've
hard.
also seen it taken one step further where the analytical person in the situation actually gets reverse offended. Legitimately.
Oh, yeah.
Not being defensive, but they'll say, wow, your first interpretation of me was that. You didn't give me the benefit of the doubt at all.
You were 2
That's your
rooms
ego.
away, and you had a vacuum that you were
You
running
thought
in your
I was
hand.
threatening you. You
Yeah.
thought I was screaming. You thought I was mean to you. If that's who you fundamentally believe I am, at default, should we be together? 'Cause,
No,
like, that's
no.
interesting.
I'm going to back the truck
Whitney,
up.
this is that
is
day I wish we were on
unimpressed.
Twitch because there's hands going up.
Whitney is genuinely unimpressed by
He's
Jim's
putting it
example.
back.
That is
Go, girl, get it.
so taking it personally, because the fact is they wouldn't have even told you, as we've learned through all these letters that come in like over
Right.
the last year, they would have just dropped you then or just broken up with you. But the fact they came to you,
Yeah.
they are surprised. They're saying, wow,
This
we
is
have this great
incongruent.
relationship,
Yeah.
but this one thing you did really hurt me.
Right.
And you just say, oh my God, I never want to hurt you. I'm so sorry.
But that is hard
I'll
to
change my
hear.
tone.
If it's like, Jim,
It is.
I was really hurt when you were aggressive at me the other day. It's like, oh no, I'm not that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
the guy who cries when my daughter's mug breaks. I hope you didn't perceive me as aggressive.
Why
Let
do
me
you keep
fix
bringing that up?
And why do you say it like you're not the one who broke it?
Oh, Jacob,
Who is
you're a
upset?
monster.
Who else is upset
You're
besides
just
Jim?
a monster.
I'm so good at it.
But yeah, I think in relationships we care about, I should
Right.
say, what like a partnership, your spouse, a really good friendship. I think that was a hard lesson for me to learn because I did have a lot of turmoil before this conversation. I even called one of my closest friends, like oldest friends that I know would like hide the body for me. Like one of those people. I was like, hey, this happened with this other friend. What should I do? Like, I said the same thing. I really want to tell her, like, I would never do that. I want her to see I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
And they really put it into perspective for me. They're like, but it's not about that.
Okay.
It's about how they're perceiving the situation
That's
and
the
what you
enlightened
want.
view.
It
That
really
the
is.
enlightened
And you have to
view.
have someone else tell you because it is hard. That was
Right.
my like internal natural place to
Yeah.
go.
Well,
So,
and
yeah.
Jacob threw this out there earlier, but it is 100% true. And I say this a lot in couples therapy. But you can be right or you can be happy.
Yep.
And you can't be both.
Yeah.
And so in this scenario, I think if we're doing couples
Yeah,
therapy with somebody
yeah.
like this and we're sorting this out, yes, we want to process it. Yes, we want to talk it out. We want everybody to feel heard. But as a rule, if the analytical person's like, no, there needs to be a correction of the record, that's important too. Truth matters. Accuracy matters. We will tell them, you're not wrong.
Sure.
Unfortunately, the laws are that you can choose to be right and sort this out for accuracy's sake so that the scientific record is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can choose to be happy, which looks like reconciling and attending to the emotions of the abused or the offended person.
Yeah.
And that's really the shortest path
And if
toward
it's
victory.
so important, if
Yeah.
it's super important that you clear that record up, feel free to go back like a day or two later.
Yes.
Give it at
right.
least a good sleep between
Yeah.
though.
When
That's
the pain
fair.
is gone, and then to circle back and go,
Like, hey, I just want you to know
yeah.
that was never my intention in the first place.
Then they can hear that.
I did not
Right.
mean for my tone to sound aggressive. I didn't intend for it to be aggressive at all. I thought I was just calling you across the room.
Right.
You heard that as aggression. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah.
But it's important for me to let you know at this point that was not my intention either. I'm still sorry that it all happened. That doesn't negate anything else, but this was my intention in the moment, and I want you to know that. Like if it's so important,
Right.
you can have that conversation a couple days
When
later.
I called you a Bangladeshi whore, I was saying
It's only
a
because
compliment.
you're from
Yes,
Bangladesh.
You are from Bangladesh.
You've got
Is
skills.
that not the right word? I'm sorry. And I meant that like, go girl,
yeah.
girl power.
The last thing that Alec
Sex
just
worker.
mentioned was feeling like their partner said that they weren't being heard. And so when you ask like, how can I not be gaslamping and manipulative?
So solid.
And I think, or not perceived as manipulative. And I think that sometimes they're just repeating back, like, all right, what I'm hearing is, I mean, you can say it in your own words, but what I'm hearing you say is blah, blah, blah,
Right.
ABC.
Mhm.
And it gives them a chance to just be like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Or no, actually, it's this.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, I hear you.
That's huge. I mean,
Yeah.
I like that statement. I hear you. I also like the statement, I received that.
Yeah.
I learned that from an old black lady at a church.
Why she got to be black?
No, she was. Her name was Sherry, and she was an old black lady at a church.
Would you
And
say old white
That's
lady?
no, she is just an old black lady named
But
Sherry.
would
She
you
was
say
my
old
vice
white
principal when I
lady?
was a high
I'm
school
just
teacher
saying.
at a religious
Go
school.
on.
And she taught me that. And she was the sweetest. Well, she had an edge to her. I was afraid of her. But anytime somebody give her criticism, she would say, like, I received that. Thank you. And I'd be like,
Oh, that's a
I
good one.
like that.
I
I
would-
remember learning that.
And I'll tell you right now, if someone said I received that to a criticism that I just gave out, I would absolutely interpret that as fuck you.
I received that and I reject it.
I reject that in the name of Jesus. That's the
Like,
devil.
yes, I receive your criticism, Jim. Thank you.
I think that's kind of like the Vegas way of saying bless your heart.
Yeah.
Bless your
No, it sounds like
heart.
it sounds like a
Oh, well,
what do
bless
you
your
call
heart.
the part of a company? The human resources.
Yeah.
It sounds like the human resources version of bless your heart.
Yeah, diplomacy. Good question here.
That was good.
Good luck with your gas lamping.
It's so hard.
And yeah,
I disagree with everybody else. I think you're doing fine, Alec. You just
Good.
just keep
honestly,
it on.
that's the takeaway.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You can be right or you can be happy.
Yeah.
Me personally, I've
Pick
had
right.
enough happiness.
Yeah,
That's
happiness is for
I'm
suckers.
You know what
fine
makes
with
me
happy.
happy?
Nick's
Yeah.
happy
Being
being
right.
right. Yes, sounds like Nick's happy being right.
You could be alone
Totally.
and right and very happy in
And
your
alone.
certainty.
Alone's the third one that does not come
Yeah,
on.
right and alone.
Yeah.
I'm happy when I'm alone.
Yeah, be the one man who was right, living on the moon. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about collateral damage in ending a friendship. You're listening to Pod Therapy.
Today's episode is brought to you by our producers. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks.
Good job.
My laptop died.
I don't
so
care.
Oh,
You're fine.
no.
You know
This
who
is gonna
you
be
are.
fun.
Yeah, you know
You
who
don't
you are.
do
Thank
this to get thanked. Or do you?
Maybe they do.
Please
You
keep
do,
doing it.
please continue.
Please continue doing it. All right. Welcome to Jim's Trivia Night. We are playing Jim's Geography Revenge.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Here are the rules of
bring
the
it.
game.
Is this like, what does Jim think the neighboring state to Iowa is?
Oh, and we have to use
You
the
are
map.
half right.
Oh.
And here's how this game is played. I looked up a bunch of geography trivia. Before looking up the answers, I wrote answers that I thought were the answers.
Great.
Oh my gosh, this is like the newlywed game.
Your job is to guess the answer that I thought it was.
Oh, Jesus.
This is
As
hilarious.
a team.
Yeah.
You get to work as a
shit.
team.
All right.
So discussion is encouraged. If you get the answer that I thought it was, you get 2 points. If you take a shot for that and you fuck it up, it's -1.
Okay.
Or you can go for the correct answer for just a layup and get 1 point.
Okay.
You can
Well,
go
I'll
for
tell
2.
you what. The two of you are lucky that you've got the Jim Whisperer.
It's
Honestly,
team.
Nick is your best asset. I'm going to be honest with you. He's your only fucking shot. What state? Also, I got none of these right. I should point that out.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
that does
that's-
help.
0%
no
of
Got a
them.
hint.
I got none of them right.
I wasn't even going to. I was genuinely just assuming that you hadn't gotten any of them correct.
You should also know that I answered them as quickly as possible. I did not try
Wow,
to think
snap
about
ball.
it. I just went with my heart.
You didn't look at your
As I
hand-drawn
answered
map, bro.
No, I did not. First question. There will be several per round until I get bored. What state is the Statue of Liberty in?
Oh my,
my
god,
God.
you're joking.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm
Okay,
gonna
so
say,
he didn't say New York.
No. Okay.
Do you think he said like
Did he
New
think-
England?
Here's the thing.
Is
Did he
a
think
state?
Jersey?
Oh, I'm gonna
I went
guess.
Jersey, but I think it's New England.
I
Okay.
think he thinks Boston.
Ooh.
I'll bet he's
Boston's a
wrong
good
about
call.
it being a state,
Oh.
and he's wrong about where it's at.
I'm going to be honest with you. The state-city thing was a problem. It was a problem
That's
throughout
our
this thing.
second hint.
There was a real problem because I answered a lot of them way too fast.
Nick does
and then I
speak
went
Jim,
back and I was like,
so
oh,
this is
fuck, that's
beneficial.
not that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knew Nick would crush us
Yeah.
if we didn't work as a
My
team.
my honest guess would be either Philadelphia or Boston.
Philadelphia.
He didn't say Philadelphia.
You don't
You
think
don't think
so?
I don't think Jim's aware of Philadelphia.
That's where that show is filmed.
It's always
It's
sunny.
always sunny there.
They make good
Everybody's very
sandwiches.
tanned there.
I like the sandwiches.
The other thing I could see New Jersey.
Yeah, I thought New Jersey initially.
I want to
but-
say New Jersey is my vote.
Okay.
My vote is that we not go for the single point. Like, let's get a point by saying the correct thing.
Oh, so you want to go full points?
Yeah, I want to go for the 2.
Just go
two.
for
I-
it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that too. What's your case? What do you think?
I like the Boston one now.
Yeah.
That's hard. Ooh. But I
I'm also-
I originally would have said New Jersey though.
Yeah.
That was my initial guess before Nick spoke.
I'm also kind of mad that we're playing as a team
We can go separate.
because I want to see which of us could guess Jim the best.
Plenty of time to do that. It's first
I would
question.
get if we were
Split 'em up.
individual. I feel like Nick
Split
would
'em
say
up.
Boston. I would go with Philadelphia then if we were separate.
Split 'em up.
And then
Go for it.
All right.
Jersey.
I think we should still talk these through.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
I will stick with Boston.
All right.
Okay, so
I'm
you're
gonna
going
go Philadelphia.
and you're Philly. Oh, I'll take Jersey.
All right. The correct answer, you fucking idiots, is New Jersey. That is the legal answer. So fuck all of you.
Wait,
because
the
you all
Statue of
said,
Liberty is
"Well, it's
legally in New
York, you
Jersey?"
fucking idiot." It's in New Jersey, bitches. I said Nevada.
Okay.
Wait, what?
No.
It is.
That's,
No, it's not.
There is one in Nevada.
There are
No.
several in Nevada. There are several replicas
several
in
all
Nevada.
over the
But the
world.
one that you're talking about, which one? Are you talking about the one in New York, New York?
I don't know. Yes? Is
That's
that where
not
it is?
even an exact. That's not even a replica of the Statue of
Look,
Liberty.
here's how I answered it very quickly. I had no fucking clue. And so I was like, well, there's definitely one in Nevada. So that should count for something. That was
Okay.
not correct.
All right. All right.
You're also all wrong. Next question. What is the
I
least...
just Googled it. It says New York.
according
Liberty
to
Island.
this thing, it says New
It
Jersey.
says state of New Jersey.
Whatever. What is the least populated state in America?
Oh, New York and New Jersey.
And New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, suck it. So you're all wrong.
Oh
There
wait,
you go.
but this is what Jim would say.
Yeah. What is the
Okay.
least populated?
Nevada.
Remember, you can
is
get
what
the
he's gonna
layup if
say.
you just want to give the right answer. You get one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we
Because
know?
right now you're
his-
all negative.
I'll tell you what,
I know
his-
the right answer.
His first answer is going to be that he misread it as least popular,
Okay,
and he answered that question.
that checks out completely.
But I'm guessing
And he
would
said
have,
Iowa.
He would have read it twice, and then he would have saw populated. Oof.
Liberty Island is in New York Harbor. Yeah, I don't know what your thing is talking about being in New Jersey.
That's what it said.
That thing might have said that. This says actually NewJersey.gov, NJ.gov says New Jersey and New York.
All right, fine. You guys all still got it wrong because the one in Nevada is obviously right here. So.
Not a copy. It's an art. The one at New York is an artist rendering of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh,
it's not an exact
not
copy.
a replica.
No,
Oh,
that's why when they accidentally put the face of that Statue of Liberty on a stamp, the artist that created the Statue of Liberty at New York sued the United States Postal Service and won.
Should. Least populated state. What do you got?
I don't think he's going to go with Iowa. I think he would probably say.
You don't think he'd say Iowa?
I don't think so. I think he would say Arizona.
No,
he's aware of Phoenix.
No, yeah,
he's aware of the city of Phoenix.
He's slightly aware of Phoenix.
Yeah, he's intellectually aware of Phoenix.
Here's the thing: he's going to pick a state nearby.
Yeah, that's why it's like Nevada.
You might say Utah.
I mean, it's going to be. That's the other one I was thinking was Utah.
Yeah,
it's going to be a state that borders Nevada.
Because Jim thinks that Utah has a lower population than Arizona.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Is it Utah?
I'm not sure that it does or doesn't. I'm just saying Jim thinks that it does.
I'm going to stick with Arizona.
All right. Are you guys picking what's the answer? Are you guys going solo again, or are you guys going to work as a team and group up?
Let's go solo. What do you think?
So Nick, you're registering Arizona.
Arizona.
Okay.
I'm locked in.
What are you doing here, Whitney?
I'll take Iowa.
All right. I was going to say Iowa, but I'm going to go Utah.
By the way, the answer is Wyoming.
Yeah, I was going to say Montana or Wyoming.
The legal answer is Wyoming. Yeah. And
Wyoming with less population in the state than Las Vegas has.
I said Utah.
Yes!
He did say Utah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said Utah.
I feel somewhat vindicated that he picked the neighboring state.
Yeah, I had no fucking clue. So I was like, Utah's like pretty empty, right? There's like not a lot going on over there. So that one. Which state, the last one of this round, which state has the most water in it?
Currently?
Okay.
Oh my god.
Hawaii.
Oh God, Nick knows. Okay, I'm just agreeing with. I'm going with Nick on this one. If we're grouping
Hawaii.
it.
Sure, let's go Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii.
Everybody going on Hawaii?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
The legal answer is Alaska.
Oh.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
I said Florida because of the whole climate change thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured the water was rising, so that's probably
I-
bad.
I'm confused
Here's
by
the
the wording of that
He
question, too.
only picked Florida because he didn't think of Hawaii.
Yeah.
That he didn't know
Agreed.
Hawaii was a
Well,
state.
I know it's in the water, but like the water's in it, so I thought Florida because like the icebergs, the water.
But those wouldn't be in Florida.
What?
The beaches are getting bigger, smaller, or whatever. The water's going in. That's bad. So that's why I
He
thought,
knows
first
someone
thought
in
was like,
Florida,
oh shit,
so-
that water's going inside of Florida. There's a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
the whole
water.
glacier thing, that does, like, if you want to go water in a state, the glacier thing
Weird
is
that the
that's a big
answer
trump card.
is Alaska. I'm really uncomfortable.
I was
with that
surprised
being
by
the answer.
Alaska. I didn't know.
Well done, idiots. All right, next question in the show. Collateral damage and ending a friendship. Howdy, friends. I've got a friend that I've known since I was 12 years old. I'm 32 now. He's married with a wife and 2 kids and lives 4 hours away from me. I'm engaged. I haven't seen him in about a year, and the last time we really spent any time together was 5 years ago. He frequently traveled through where I lived to see his parents. I asked him to stop over, but he was always too busy for that and never carved out the time to do so. You'll see a recurring theme here. Recently, he had a spat of canceling our monthly video game get-togethers at the last minute each time and only at my reminder to see if we were still on. Having felt ignored, I was assertive with him for the first time ever and let him know that my time could not continue to be disrespected. He handled it well to my face, but I heard secondhand that he had called me needy when I was trying to establish boundaries, and that really left me hurting. Now he's in town again with his wife and kids, visiting his parents, and he reached out to me to hang out, which surprised me, to be honest, because in the past he generally kept his visits hush-hush. He suggested I hang out with him at his parents' house, but being exhausted, I asked if we could meet up in the middle for drinks. He said that was too far and we could reassess Tuesday, his last day in town. Do I even bother trying again on Tuesday or let him take the initiative? I feel like he couldn't care less about my feelings and only wants to hang out if it's convenient. He's asked about my fiancée exactly 0 times, and I feel like I've done everything I can to stay close. I understand that he has a family, a wife, and 2 kids, but it still makes me feel like I'm his doormat, and I'm exhausted from it. The more I think about it, the more it feels like this relationship has been nothing but one-way traffic for the past 2 decades. Frankly, if this were anyone else, I'd end the friendship in a minute. But I have a very close and healthy friendship with his brother and parents, and I'm very worried about collateral damage to those relationships if there's a falling out. That's the crucial detail here, unfortunately. In a perfect world, I'd like to remain friends, but it's become clear to me that he's either unwilling or unable to be the friend I need him to be. So now, my worries about potential collateral damage to the relationships to his family members that are really important to me. Y'all are the bomb. Evan.
You from Texas, Evan?
Pew pew, Texas.
Pew pew. I saw howdy and I saw y'all.
She does say that.
And Texans do say y'all are the bomb because they're in the 1990s.
So here's the good news, Evan. I don't think that this has to be something that I don't think this is a situation where there has to be collateral damage. The way that I look at it is, I think your solution here is simply to match effort, and that's it. Like, you don't have to. There doesn't have to be a confrontation. There doesn't have to be, a big discussion about it. There doesn't have to be a falling out. I'll go back to something that Dr. Phil once said. Well, who raised him? No, but something else that Dr. Phil said.
South Park?
No, that was Brian would do that. When I worked with Brian, he used to.
love Brian.
When we worked with kids, he was always like, "Well, who raised him?" Anyway,
Sorry.
no, something else that Dr. Phil said, and I hate quoting Dr. Phil. I'm not a big Dr. Phil fan, but something that I
Sure
heard
quote
him
him a lot
say
for somebody
once.
who's not a fan.
Yeah, I do.
Not a fan, in quotes.
Yeah.
I'm not a Dr. Phil fan. I've never quoted him.
Yeah, I don't have a poster of him in my office. No,
I don't have an official Dr. Phil hat like Nick.
The one you're wearing.
But he did say, and he probably isn't even the one that actually said it, but he was quoted as saying it. People teach us how to treat them. So like his behavior is really kind of showing you how he wants to be, what he wants this relationship to be like, and if you kind of start to pull back a little bit and you start matching his effort, then you get to kind of see how he responds to that. If he realizes that, like, oh no, I do want our relationship to be a little bit stronger, then maybe he'll start putting in more effort.
Yeah.
Or if he doesn't care if it's stronger, then he won't change anything. But either way, the pressure is off you to try to maintain it. And you don't have to have a big fight about it either.
You certainly don't have to have a big fight about it. There's no confrontation needed. This isn't a spouse. This isn't even a coworker or someone that
you don't share kids with them.
Yeah. You don't have a mortgage with this person or anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to have any interaction with this person. I would caution in Nick's line of thought there. There's a pitfall that I could foresee possibly happening there, and that is that you kind of actively ignore this person or treat them in the same way that you perceive you're being treated in as a way to kind of get at them.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of use that as a weapon and to
like
be a
get
little.
bucks.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's not a good way to be. You're not going to be happy doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not going to be fun for you or anyone else. I don't know. I mean, like, friendships change over the years.
Yeah.
And like, I have people that I consider to be close friends that I don't see for years at a time. And occasionally we are in the same cities together and everything, and we don't reach out to each other. We don't make the time to see each other. That's just what the friendship is.
And I think that's the key, is to not take it as a personal attack.
Yeah.
Or it's not a statement about who you are, and it's not a statement about even your relationship, really. It's just things change, especially when you add in kids into the mix and families and stuff like that. it becomes really difficult. And, I think about this all the time. Like when I go back to Iowa, there's so many people that I want to go visit and like hang out with, but like I don't have that much time. And so it does kind of become one of those things where I try to, when I'm back in town, I try to reach out to a bunch of people, say, hey, let's all meet up someplace so I can see all of you together. And it doesn't always work out that way. And sometimes you kind of have to pick like, okay, well, I can't go see this person. I got to go over here.
Right.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's not anything about them or against them. It's just, that's kind of the nature of where we're at.
That was the camping in August, HoboCon.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. So we can see all your friends then at HoboCon.
Yes. And
When Jim drives us out there in an RV.
Yes.
Oh, no, never again. That's no,
Again.
so anxious. Oh,
Oh my gosh. No,
we're using spirit points.
Jacob's like, I'm not.
yeah.
They transfer to no one.
They work on Uber.
Yeah.
That's just not true. That'd be useful.
That really would be.
No, I like, kind of to piggyback off what Nick and Jacob are both saying, I would say that if you feel good about the way you are treating them, like, just be okay with that.
Yeah.
If you are the one who reaches out more, but you're like, well, I really value our friendship and they don't reach out as much, but I like the time we get to spend together. So I'm okay being the one to reach out more.
Cool.
It kind of
Right.
reminds me of like romantic relationships where not both parties aren't always going to give 50-50. It's like
Right.
sometimes one person's going to give more. And if you feel like it's too much at some point, you can talk about that if that's where you're at now and you're like, I want something more. Sounds like you kind of are. So I guess I'm just sharing with you, maybe adjust your expectation. We can't have expectations of others to give the same amount that we're going to give all the
Right.
time. But if you are feeling like I'm giving too much, then absolutely that's valid.
You've got to pull back.
Totally.
That's a really good point because like my guys trip that we do like every couple years, it always falls on me to put it together.
Yep.
But I've never taken that personally.
Yeah.
I've just
You don't take that as an affront.
No, not at all. And I know
Like that they don't want to hang out because they aren't planning it.
No, they're all really excited to do it. It's
Yeah.
just I seem to have that kind of free time where I can just coordinate it, And
Yeah, you don't do
and
much.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
I
really
feel like Nick does 9 million things. I'm like,
I really just design T-shirts that mock Jim, and once I'm out of T-shirt ideas, I've got nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do. I may as well plan a boys trip.
Yeah, so
You can plan a boys trip or trace another pumpkin.
yeah,
He's equal opportunity.
yeah,
He'll
yeah.
get you.
He's on it.
You
tonight.
don't give a shit.
He's on it. Yeah, stay out of the spotlight.
Yeah.
Whitney.
Just keep your
I know,
head
I was
down.
just saying, I'm like, he hasn't looked at me yet.
He'll get you,
Let
man.
me just hide behind this deer with
You've
beady
been
eyes.
here for a year. The training wheels are off.
Damn it.
We
Damn it.
boycotted for a year. We said, hey, you can't beat her up for a year, man. You get another time.
I know.
Yeah. Now the
deer
elk is staring at
Oh
you.
yeah, the elk. I'm like the deer.
No, but I think
That's a whitetail.
it's just one of those things. Like I like that point that you make. Like it's, if the relationship is important to you and you don't mind being the one reaching out and you can do that and not take it personal.
Right.
If he's not doing the work, keep doing it, know?
And there needs to be a changing of the commitments at a minimum. I mean, like if you have a monthly thing and the other person keeps bailing on it or flaking or whatever, I think right-sizing that and being like, hey, this doesn't seem like something we're being consistent with.
Yeah.
And that kind of hurts my heart. Like, is it cool if we just let that go and we'll just kind of do this ad hoc? Like, we'll pull it together when we feel like it.
Yeah.
That is correct because
Yeah.
I think you've got to match their speed. And like for me, we've talked about this in the show before. We've talked about, the phenomenon of like dinks, hanging out with dinks and, the people with kids tend to be super duper flaky and like we're frustrating, I think, for all of our friends that we grew up with. And like one of my classics is my buddy Eddie, who's my college roommate. And Eddie's actually started his own little Instagram podcast thing. He's kind of doing this traveling thing. So he is a digital nomad, and he is currently like traveling through the entire Western U.S. And it's fun because a lot of our listeners have actually supported him and just like, given him some fans to, pay attention to what he's doing, which is really cool. He's like hiking the world or whatever. But our friendship is very much like he is available all the time and I'm available sometimes. And at some point he stopped calling and like stopped inviting, stopped texting. because I was constantly disappointing him. But I love him. Like, he is family to me. I was going through old photos in my backup drive, and I found a picture of us graduating high school together, standing side by side, like in the little line or whatever. And like, obviously, like I've known this kid since I was in 6th grade, like we rode the bus together in middle school. Like, he is family to me. I love him. And at the same time, I've been emotionally unavailable and in a friendship capacity, completely unavailable for the entire time I've had kids, which is since I was 24 years old.
That was the second part I was going to say, which Nick touched on, and you are now, is that, and again, you do not have to adjust those boundaries if you don't want to, but I do think there's a lot of weight to be had on the fact that he's married with children, and children take a lot out of you.
It's tough because they kind of, unfortunately, they are sort of supreme, right?
They are.
And like they
And
do
they should
trump
be.
everything. And it's unfortunate because you get sick and tired of hearing your friend being like, the kids. And you're
And
sort
you
of
don't
like,
understand unless you're in
fuck
it.
you. You're an adult. Like, sort your shit out. Or like, whatever. We're here too. But then there's another part of your brain that's like, I don't know what it's like. I mean, I'm sure it's overwhelming and I love you. And like, I'm just, you're venting to me.
Yeah.
But no, like the way that he handled me, if any friend had ever deserved to be sort of excommunicated, it was me. And the way he handled me was he just kind of let me know at one point, and he was a little hurt, but he had checked in and said, hey man, I know I invite you to stuff all the time. Like sometimes it's hard because I kind of always hear no. And like every 10th time I hear yes, I'm going to sort of hold back. But if you're ever free, just know that I'm always like super interested in hearing about that. And I was like, okay. And like, I also heard him say that he was hurt. And so like I processed that or whatever. But that has worked because in our relationship, especially as my kids have gotten older, I'm free again. And so I've been, messaging him like, hey man, do you want to go see like a Rebels game? Like, yes, let's go. And I took him to a Rebels game and he said the other day to me, I'm always happy to be your plan B. Like if you're ever like your shit falls through or whatever, hit me up. I'm a dink. I'm chill. Like, I'm always free. And it was super cool. And like we had a great time. So right sizing the capacity of the person you're in a relationship with, I think there's value to that. Asking yourself, am I comfortable with whatever percentage of friendship they have available for me? Mm-hmm. That I think is huge. But you may decide, no, I'm not. That hurts me. And I'd rather have nothing than anything that you're offering. And then you do face this issue of like, does it hurt the other relationships that are attached to this human? Like in this writer's case, I'm scared of losing the relationship I have with the brother and their family. That collateral damage thing can happen, but in my experience, I don't think it's very common. Unless you're a dick about it. If you're like, oh, we're not friends anymore because you're a bad person and a bad friend, then they're going to tell their family.
You do like a breakup monologue.
Yeah, don't get weird about it because then they're going to be like, oh, shit. And they're going to tell their family, yeah, Whitney called me the other day and just told me I'm a piece of shit. And they're going to be like, that sucks.
That sounds
and we
like
don't
Whitney.
like that. And Whitney says that to everybody. That's her voicemail. It's
That
weird.
checks out.
That's her signature line on the emails. So I think if you're going to have to back out because you feel like I
Wouldn't
can't
even
keep
give her a
doing this-
compliment sandwich.
That's what she likes.
I don't know.
That's how she wants
She
it.
just gets a criticism.
Just a reverse Oreo sandwich.
Yeah.
Just one criticism.
That's how that works.
Just the cream.
But yeah, if you have to break
My
up
name
with
is
the
said
relationship,
Coot.
I like you saying, hey, I'm on standby. I don't want to keep pursuing when you're not available, but just know that I care for you and I'm always around if you want to check in. That is the right sized amount of breakup.
Yes.
I feel like anything else is going to be like antagonistic
Yeah.
And
you will have the
needlessly
collateral
dramatic.
damage. Yeah, it doesn't need to be. Just walk away. If they're showing you what they're available for and that doesn't work for you, match their energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And like it can the conversation can absolutely end with like, hey, hopefully I'll see you around. Maybe I'll see you at this thing. Maybe I'll see you at this thing. List off a couple of things that you're going to be doing anyway.
HoboCon, Scoop
Yeah.
Fest.
I'd love to hang out at these things if you're going to be around at these things. Otherwise, give me a call. Shoot me a text. Let's do stuff.
Yep, I'm around.
Yeah. But I mean, you can easily put it into their court without standing in the front lawn with a boom box.
I don't like the big breakup, especially with
for the
friendships.
boombox.
And this is also I get the impression from the writing.
I just wanted to give a current
Very
analogy.
current,
nice
very up to
quick
date,
shout out
yeah.
to the kids.
Yeah.
That way the Gen
John
Zers
Cusack.
can
That's right.
listen to the show.
They get it.
Yeah, they're following. Especially the dynamic between like a male-female friendship. Like if you're a male out there and you're reading this letter and you're kind of like, oh, I kind of don't see the problem here. I like questions like this because it also illuminates the way we think differently about dynamics. Mm-hmm. And like in male-to-male friendships, Nick's joked on the show a million times, I don't answer his texts. I don't answer his emails. here we fucking are 6 years later, seeing each other every week.
He's
doing
reading
the
your
show.
mind about geography.
We're fine. He can pretty much finish my sentences, and
Finish
I
your
don't fucking
sandwiches.
do anything in this friendship. Nothing at all. And so, like, but it's
Agreed.
fine. It's good enough. I'm pretty sure he's not crying to himself to sleep on the pillow. But like, if
On a what?
pillow. You're wrong.
Like the worst.
Honestly.
Worst
So like
Or
wash.
are we continuing
you wash
the,
your
the
fucking hair.
gaslighting here?
No, you wash your anyway. Washington.
Oh my gosh. You are
So,
from Texas.
Yeah, it's a thing. But no, I think that there's something to be learned. Like one of the most fulfilling things I've found in having female friends is definitely learning how they do friendship differently and coming to let myself be taught by that and say, okay, look, I value this human being. And I need to understand what friendship looks like for them too. That doesn't come naturally to me, but I want to learn, right? And I think that's really huge to learn that as a man or a woman. But that might be the shoe on the other foot that the writer's, kind of experiencing is like, how might your male friend just do friendship differently with you? And how might that not have anything to do with how much they value you? It just might seem pretty typical for them.
Yeah. I kind of, the very last thing I was thinking was something Jacob mentioned earlier. That's that friendships do ebb and flow. Just life circumstances. I have some of my closest friends. We've just like going into college and going to college in different states, you separate for a while and you form new friendships, but
Right.
maybe you come back together later when you do have time
Yeah,
or
you find
you live
each other.
closer to each other or whatever. I think that's very true. And so it does sound like there's a little bit of black and white thinking,
Yeah.
like, hey, let me cut off the whole family. Like, what is that? Throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Right.
Yeah.
Make this big statement.
But yeah, I love it if you.
Which just open up the drain. You don't have to throw out the bathwater.
I'm throwing
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
out.
drain the tub.
Just drain the tub. It's fine.
The bucket
I
is
guess
a lot
if
of
you
work,
say so, I'll try that next time.
Yeah.
especially if the bathtub's upstairs. Whitney, I am curious. You are,
Oh, no. I'm
are comfortable
scared.
having male friends. You're very casual. You have 3 dudes that you hang out with every week. Everything's cool.
You shouldn't
Who
be
said
so
we were
comfortable with
friends?
this.
shouldn't be so comfortable.
We pay her, Joe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we literally pay her to hang
You
out.
literally pay her for her companionship.
True.
Again, I will
I'm
be
fine with
anyone's
it. No, I'm
friend.
not questioning the paradigm.
I'll touch my only.
This is working. This is working for all of us. What have you learned?
Mercedes got to get paid.
What have you learned about having male friends? Like, has that been an adjustment for you where you've had to be like, oh, okay, I need to interpret this differently, or this is what's different about having male friends versus female friends? Some girls say that they like having male friends because, and this is just the chatter, so I hope I'm not being sexist, but I've heard a lot of women say, I like male friends because they're less work.
That's fair. Gosh, there's like a lot of different directions I thought about going with this. Yeah, I guess I would say that to an extent, but I wouldn't. My closest friends aren't male,
Right.
So, and I have my own theories around that being like attached to somebody and
About
having,
yourself or in general?
a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it's probably an unpopular opinion, but I have a hard time believing you can be like really close friends with someone
Yeah.
of the opposite sex.
Sure. If that's what you're
If
also
you're in a
attracted to.
hetero relationship,
Right.
if you're
So
It starts to
The
touch
Harry
the
met
same
Sally thing.
Right. It starts to
Yeah.
touch the same nerves that are feeling like bonding.
Yeah.
pair
yeah,
bonding.
yeah, you're bonding with
I'll tell
somebody
you
else
what, the older you get, the easier that gets.
to
Oh, yeah?
to bond.
Yeah.
Also,
Or-
the
just like-
uglier you are.
And that.
That really
I've
helps.
got both those things going for me.
He'll dish it in every direction.
The older I get, the more I'm like, oh, I noticeably have more female friends now than at any other point in my like I've always had female friends.
Yeah.
But like I have more close female friends now that I hang out with like one-on-one or like we'll go do stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Some married, some single, some in relationships, whatever. Like that has no bearing on it at all.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, and I've spoken to people about this, and anecdotally, we all agree that like the older you get,
The
I don't
easier
know if
that
it's
gets,
like
yeah.
sex drive something or
That might
whatever.
be fair, yeah.
But like
Yeah.
whatever it is, I tend to think it's less sexual and less sex drive stuff than it is just more of an understanding.
That makes sense.
Like I
Totally.
think it's just experience and wisdom.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
Yeah,
I think it's
and
more
I have
of
a
that.
lot of like not stipulations.
And you just might not have that wisdom yet, Whitney.
You'll get there.
Okay, well, how much for life coaching from you, Jacob? Because I might need to
He's
broaden
available
my
for hire.
horizons. No, I mean, like, I have guy friends, but like the people in my close tight knit circle,
The inner circle tend to be
are
female.
female. Yeah, for myself. So, but I did find, I remember, when I was a lot younger, I would say things, especially like in high school, is so cringy thinking back now, but, like, oh yeah, like guys are easier to be friends with and like girls are drama or whatever else.
That seems to be the trope. Yeah.
It's kind of a trope. It's probably a little bit true when you have like
There's not
high
no truth
hormones
to it, probably.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Like there's a lot going on when you're that age. So, yeah, it seems simpler when guys are just like, yo, whatever. And you're like, yeah, right, whatever. Who cares? Like, we can just chill or whatnot. But yeah, I think,
Of course, just by saying that whole sentence, you've just overthought it more than the
Yeah.
guy was already thinking it in
See?
the first place. You've already fucked it all up.
This is probably
I
true.
fucked it up. Why are you trying to blame me, Jacob?
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
Because you're the one who was telling the story.
Are you gaslamping?
Yeah, way to gaslamp me.
Gas lantering.
Reminds me of that-
Yes.
Did you guys see that SNL skit when Travis Kelce was on? And it was one of the characters, one of the SNL guys, gay man, was talking about
his straight friend?
his female friends.
Yeah.
Do you have this problem? And
Yeah.
you should try straight male friends.
You're right.
And it's Travis
Yeah.
Kelce.
He's a gay guy,
Yeah,
and all of
and
his
it's like-
girlfriends are really a lot of work,
Yeah.
and they're really like sensitive, and they're upset at him all the time. And so he makes friends with Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
And Travis Kelce's like, my dad just died. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's like, yeah. Do you think you want pizza tonight? And he's like, are you okay, man? Yeah, I'm fine. You want a beer?
He's like, and then he goes, I'm thinking about moving to Japan. Oh, cool. Yeah, you should go.
That'd be awesome, man. And like he's with his girlfriends, and
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like,
you love
"What?
sushi."
You
Yeah.
haven't even talked to us about this." Yeah, and then he tells Travis Kelce, he's like, "Oh, dude, you should totally go." Okay,
That's great.
how do you feel about that? I think he's awesome, dude. Like, just text me or whatever. Like, that'd be cool. Yeah.
my
So there's some
gosh.
tropes, but
Yeah, for
Anyway.
sure.
great question. Definitely take your time on this one, and maybe just match the energy, and maybe
Yeah.
that's it. We're
Yeah.
letting the relationship die a natural death in a sense, or just find its
Just
equilibrium.
change.
That's it. That's it. It's finding its new equilibrium. This is what it's available for. Sometimes it's the right move. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about, do I need therapy? You're listening to Pod Therapy.
No one who ever asked that question, it's never
It's
yes.
always yes.
Yeah. You're doing fine.
Yeah.
You're great.
You're great.
You're
This
good.
episode is brought to you by our Thera partners,
Oh,
Thera
boy.
producers, Thera people. Thank
There are
you.
people.
You know who you are. We sure do like you.
Patreon.com/therapy for as little as $5 a
thanks.
month.
There
you
it
can get
is.
over there and support this
He
show
knows
and get
what he's
all the
doing.
stuff. It's great.
That's professional entertainer right there.
It is.
All right, back to Jim's Geography Revenge with you morons who can't get anything right.
Iowa, final answer.
I still feel like I'm
Again,
doing
the
pretty good.
rules are you get double the points if you can guess what you
Considering
think.
I
Jim
got
thought.
double points.
You did. You got Utah.
Yeah.
So,
You
I
taught
mean-
Utah to putty cat.
Considering this is one of those where there's infinite wrong answers.
yes.
So many.
I
So
think-
many options.
You almost
we're
better
doing
go
pretty
for
good.
the
Pretty
one.
good,
I mean,
yeah.
honestly,
Pretty good.
there's a strategy to this. Which state is the closest to Africa?
God.
Huh. Which side of the country does
Yeah.
Jim think is nearest Africa?
Okay,
You
number one.
are on the right
he
track, my
absolutely-
man.
Yeah.
It's going to be Texas because he's thinking South America.
Yeah, he might be thinking South America. That's right.
Nick is gold.
Jacob's
I'm like,
asking
I don't
the right
know.
questions.
And
That is
Jacob's asking
exactly
good
where you need to
questions.
start.
Jim, let me ask you a question. That is
Yeah, no, this
unrelated
is
to
fine.
anything.
I'm happy to help. I don't mind.
Can you
Yeah.
drive to Africa?
All right.
Not would it be a really long drive or whatever. Can you,
it
from where we are
possible?
right now,
Oh, Jesus.
can you drive to Africa?
I think you can.
Okay, he thinks it's Texas. Texas,
Yeah, it's
Texas, final answer.
Yeah, I'm a Texas.
Are you all
guy.
going on
Yep,
Texas?
we're grouping
Yeah.
this.
It's
I don't know.
not,
Or-
it's
California.
not Texas.
Okay.
I'll let you
California.
have another shot. It's
California.
Do you
Not
think
Texas.
it's Florida
You're,
again?
you're coming at it the wrong way. You need to think about things from like
Mexico?
a global
Wait,
perspective.
did he say
Okay, I mean, again, this could be anything. This could be Cuba.
It might be
Could be
Maine.
Minnesota.
Yeah, it could.
Wrong answer.
Wait, hold on, read the
mean,
question.
tell you
Hold
that
on,
it was Santa
hold on,
Fe.
read the
Tell you that
question
was
again.
wrong.
It could be South Africa.
Yeah.
Which state is the closest to Africa?
Which state? Does he think Mexico's
I will
a
help
state?
you. I did pick a United States state.
Okay.
I got
Hold on.
confused.
By
I
the
was
map?
wrong. They're all wrong. I'm always wrong.
Is he one of those?
Do you want the real answer,
Hold on.
by the way? I'll just give that to you since
Well,
none of you are going
it's
for it.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually Maine.
Oh, it is Maine. I just said Maine jokingly.
Actually Maine.
It is Maine. This is one of those
Maine
weird,
is
like,
the furthest.
furthest
'Cause
east.
East. Yeah. That does make sense.
I got confused.
that whole
about-
equator thing would have made me think Florida, though.
Look, the point is, you guys go ahead and guess. I'm just gonna, but I'll tell you, it was not Texas,
I mean, I
and
could
it's not
also
Florida
see
because
Alabama.
Florida's the layup. You think
Wait,
it's Florida?
okay, have
it
you-
wasn't Florida, and it wasn't Texas.
I don't know if Jim's in this category, but I've heard this more recently, and one from a friend of mine, and it shocked me. It shooketh me. Do you know what I'm about to say? Like where?
What is the easternmost state?
No,
Is that
no,
the-
not that. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I think you might think it's Alaska.
Yeah. Well, so I was going to say Alaska because the drawing of maps when you're in school, people have come out and said
Oh,
they
yeah,
thought
sure.
Hawaii and Alaska because they're at the bottom left.
Yeah.
They think that is where they're located.
Yes.
I was like,
Oh.
what? So yeah, they think that is on the map where they're located, even though they're just taking it because it's too far away and they're like blending them down there. You know what I mean?
Oh, I could see Jim saying
think it's
Hawaii
Alaska.
or Alaska.
Hawaii or Alaska because
Oh,
of
Hawaii. I
that.
didn't think about Hawaii. Shit.
I don't think he thinks about Hawaii.
Yeah. I'm sticking with Alaska.
Yeah,
Final
Alaska's
answer?
Alaska.
pretty
You guys
good.
going as a team on this one?
Yeah,
I'll
go as a team.
Alaska too.
Yeah.
I said Alaska.
Hey!
I know Jim Jobin.
My logic
Yes.
was you just go over the top.
Yeah.
If you just go the top, and on the other side is
Oh
going to
my
be Africa.
gosh, that
didn't
is not the
just go
logic.
I didn't
Yeah.
even give you that.
No, I went a
Right.
totally
Figured-
different.
No, that's what I was
Well,
You
thinking.
know what? We
That's what
showed
I
our
was thinking
work.
you
We
was
shouldn't
doing.
have showed our
north.
work.
You just
Yeah.
go north.
By
so
the
you don't
way,
have
you
to go
definitely
down.
cannot drive from here to Africa.
Well, okay,
You can't do it.
but you go through Europe.
No.
Well, okay.
If you
What?
go,
You can't drive from here to Europe either.
but you go up to Alaska.
Nope.
I don't know.
You can't drive. You can
Can you
probably
go
walk.
up? So you can't go.
You could walk, maybe.
If you can get to Europe, then what you can do
How
is
can
you go
you get to
Ca-
Europe?
Go
How-
to Canada,
Okay.
and you go up
Uh-huh.
to the
Okay.
North Pole, and then you come down.
Europe isn't connected to the North Pole.
Yeah, it is.
by-
It's connected by the Scandinavian
oh,
countries.
God.
They're right there. You just go around. It gets weird up at the north, man. Once you get up to that area, all fucking bets are off.
All right, let's go to the
you
next
could, You
one.
could
Next
land
question.
All right, next.
anywhere.
Look at us.
You guys
Killing
are doing
it.
really good. What is the westernmost state capital in the mainland United States?
Los Angeles.
Does he know east from west?
Okay, no. And
And does he know the capital of California?
no. It's no. Okay.
Los
He's wrong. Okay. It's not going to be the most western, obviously. It may not be on the west.
He might have
And
said
it's
Austin.
definitely not going to be a state capital.
You're right. It's gonna be like LA.
I really think it's
You think
either
it's Juneau, Alaska?
no. I
No,
think
he's
it's,
not gonna get that.
I think it's going to be. It's definitely California. I would say probably L.A., maybe San Francisco.
Did you list
I
a
think you
city
know-
or a state?
What's your fucking final answer?
Did you list an actual state capital?
No.
I'm
Okay.
going to say L.A. I'm going to say Los
I'll
Angeles.
go.
I
with-
like LA
I'll
a
go
lot.
with LA.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
LA.
yeah,
I said LA.
yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's obvious. And it was
Do you know the capital of California?
No.
No.
Oh my god.
Apparently it's not LA.
It's
It is
not.
not.
That is not.
The correct answer was Salem in Oregon. Salem,
Oh,
Oregon.
because you said contiguous. Yeah. Salem.
But it was my answer was LA. So that's +2. Good job, everybody.
We're killing it. Thanks to
yeah, last
Nick immediately
question.
LA.
Yeah, you got that way too fast.
Yeah,
like
that was
I'm
easy. That was a
really
layup.
upset about that.
Yeah, it took me a second to get to Alaska, but yeah, you got to LA fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got there way too quick. All right, last question for this one, and then I've got some after Patreon stuff. Which state? This one was hard. Which state is bordered by Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, and Long Island Sound?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I know what the correct answer
Yeah.
is. Oh,
Wait.
Is it?
I could see Virginia, maybe, or one of the Carolinas. I think. Why are we guessing? We've got his map.
That's true.
We have a cheat
The
sheet.
store.
We have a cheat
Pull
sheet.
up the canvas. The
I
canvas
think I
art.
have it here. Let me see. Let me see.
Oh my
We aren't allowed to use phones.
Honestly,
usually,
I
though.
do think it's probably, I would say, ooh, no, Pennsylvania.
Do you think he knows?
I
where...
could see, I could see Pennsylvania, I could see Virginia, or I could see North Carolina.
Read the states that you did that
Which
were...
state is bordered by Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, and Long Island Sound?
Is he going to say New Jersey? Again.
I think he's going to say Jersey. I think he knows that Jersey and New York are
Exists.
close to each other.
Yeah.
He learned that, if nothing else, with the Statue of Liberty
Yep.
answer.
I'm going to say North Carolina. Because I don't think he knows where Rhode Island is. And I'm also guessing he stopped reading the question after he read Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I love listening to Nick.
I'm just angry. I think it's just, I'm just angry at all this.
You're angry about me being right.
Yeah.
He thinks Virginia.
So I will give you the hint. Nick has said the right answer,
Then it's Pennsylvania.
but he has listed several. So
Okay, then it's
what's your
Pennsylvania.
final answer?
Or is it your
Pennsylvania.
final one?
What is your final answer, Jake?
I'll take Virginia.
What is your final answer?
What states did you say?
He said a shit ton.
North Carolina. Was
It
that
was
one you said?
Pennsylvania.
I
Oh,
did.
dang it.
It was Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah. Instantaneously, I was like, "Oh, that's fucking that huge ass rectangle. That's touching a shit ton. That's probably it." Yeah. The correct answer is not
Connecticut.
Pennsylvania.
Neat.
It is Connecticut.
Yeah.
Also, what the fuck is Long Island Sound?
Yeah,
What?
I didn't know
That's
that
the
was a thing.
water.
Yeah, it's a
basically,
sound.
That's dumb.
above Long Island.
So I can't tell you where Rhode Island is. I have no fucking clue. I just know it's on the ocean.
It's so tiny.
New
What
York.
ocean?
I figure
What
could...
ocean is Rhode Island touching?
Atlantic. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Credit where credit is due.
New York, I could maybe get. I feel like if you showed me a map with all the states carved out, I could probably get it. I have no idea where fucking Massachusetts
I bet you
is.
couldn't.
I don't know what Long
Yeah.
Island is. Is that a state?
Long
it's
Island?
part of
no.
New York.
Yeah, it's a borough.
a borough. Burro.
It's a borough in New York City.
Donkey, huh? Anyway, so yeah, I picked Pennsylvania, so +2 for Nick.
Yeah.
Right on.
Buddy, you are fucking crushing
I'm killing it.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, we
That's why he
knew-
let us
we
work
knew
as a
this-
team.
We knew that Nick was going to be good at this.
You know
Yeah.
what? Let's just go ahead and keep going. Fuck the Patreon. Let's just get this right.
Okay.
What is the largest city in Florida by population?
Miami.
Alabama.
Also Connecticut.
The largest-
Okay. I kind of feel like he flies in there a lot. I feel like it's going to be like Fort Lauderdale. Maybe.
You don't even give it in Miami.
No.
Orlando.
Okay, we got final answers on the board?
I'm Miami. You Orlando?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
solid.
I'll stick with
Solid
Fort
pick.
Myers. Or no, what did I say?
Fort Lauderdale?
Fort Lauderdale. I don't know.
Is he
though.
going to say Tampa?
I was going to say,
Might say Tampa.
Or Tampa.
Tampa is my second guess.
I'll go with Fort Lauderdale.
The correct, Jim's answer. Well, the real answer is Jacksonville, if you're
Okay.
wondering.
Oh, okay.
Jim's answer was Miami.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
Instantaneously, I was like, "Oh, it's obviously fucking Miami." They
I
have
would
a
have said
football
Miami.
team. That feels
If I were
legit.
So does
guessing.
Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Oh, football teams. I forgot to factor that
Jacksonville
into the
also has a
equation.
football team.
Yeah, they do.
yeah, I didn't know that. Which U.S. city has the largest population of Polish people?
City?
Which U.S. city has the largest population of Polish people?
I think it's Chicago.
You cheating bastard!
Where's that coming from?
Weird.
It's
Oh,
your
it's my watch. I
Oh,
was like, where's that even
It
coming
probably
from?
said Siri
Wow.
or
Yep.
something that sounded like
Oh,
Siri.
that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Which U.S. city has the largest population of Polish people?
Of Polish people. Where does Jim think Polish
I
people
wonder
live?
what my watch was just
It's a
telling me.
very straightforward answer.
I'm going to guess. Well, it's just going to be a big city.
My
I think-
answer was extremely straightforward.
Oh,
New York City.
Yeah, New York is what I was going to say. New York
Polish
City.
City.
I know it's a
It's
Polish.
City.
Little Poland.
What the
Little
fuck?
Poland.
Get out of
You
here.
got it. I said Little Poland. Honestly, my
waited to
first
go
thought
in
was
as a
like, well, it's
group.
obviously fucking Little Poland.
Oh my God.
Wherever that is.
I was like, New York City,
Yeah.
no.
Is the actual answer Chicago?
Yes. Yeah, the legal answer, Chicago.
Okay.
Jim's answer was Little Poland.
You functional idiot.
What is the
Functional
last one?
idiot.
What is the longest river in the United States?
Oh, and you got this wrong?
Yeah.
God, I would have guessed you would have
Is
gotten
it-
this one right.
The Mississippi? The Colorado?
In my defense, there's a fuck ton of rivers.
I bet he said the Colorado.
Colorado.
He said the
it's-
Colorado.
It's yeah, Colorado. That one's easy.
You going with the boys? You
I
gonna
mean,
be
I will. Yeah, we're on
independent?
a team.
Yeah, it's Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
The answer is the Mississippi.
the Missouri River.
The Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah, the Missouri.
Okay.
According to the internet, the
Okay.
Missouri River.
I'd guess Mississippi.
I said the Colorado.
I think the Mississippi might have like the biggest river by volume.
Yeah, it's
That might be
definitely
right.
wider.
Yeah,
Might
it's got a
be
lot of water.
Largest, longest. I'm sure there's a way to measure this. But
Yeah.
I said Colorado because it is also the
In
only
Nevada.
river I'm aware of.
Yeah.
I was like, in Nevada.
And you know that it spans at least 2 states.
I know it goes pretty
Oh,
far.
yeah,
yeah. I'm
yeah.
very interested in the water of the Colorado, so that felt right.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
I'm proud
Yeah,
of
I'm
us,
just-
and mainly Nick.
And
We
Nick,
did pretty
tip of the
good.
cap. Getting
you.
Little Poland. That
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
You just pulled that out. Like, that was very
Jim's eyes
impressive.
when you said that
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
I don't do a good job hiding the answer. Like, as Nick throws shit out.
I
like,
did.
you
I
can
said
kinda read
something
me.
earlier, and you're like, "That's a good gut or good
Yeah, I'm not
option." I was
good
like,
at
"Well, I
hiding
got it
this.
wrong."
Well, that's it. Yeah. So well done, everybody. You've gotten
Yay.
enough points to win. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Great.
You're all doing great. Last question of the
Enough
night.
points to
Do
lose.
I need therapy? There's this constant.
Nah.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Done.
Don't worry about it. Do I need therapy? There's this constant question I've been having in my life from a few years. Okay, so just FYI, I don't think this person speaks English natively, so I'm going to hobble through it. There's this constant question I've been having in my life from a few years. I almost 32 years now, and I'm usually a happy person, positive enough to annoy a small percentage of people I know. I used to be fairly confident. I used to catch myself when it became overconfidence sometimes. But after 2 COVID years, moving to another city, putting on weight, etc., I feel like I've lost my confidence. It appears in various aspects, like at work, when I'm picking up something new or even something so simple, like ordering food at a drive-thru. Like my voice becomes unbelievably low volume, and it feels like just air is coming out of my mouth. I feel like I'm shouting, but that isn't true. But when I talk to my family, that doesn't seem to be the case. I want to understand if therapy is needed or even be useful. I feel like I'll be snatching somebody else's time with a therapist, like someone who is fighting for their survival. Thank you for what you do. Anonymous.
That feeling is so real, I think, for and it keeps people from reaching out to therapy
Yes.
or
Oh my
for
goodness.
therapeutic services when maybe
Right. The fear of like, I'm taking a spot and I've heard of suicidal people, or I've heard of like people are going to drug overdose and they're like, ooh, I don't want to take that last spot.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's really valid.
I definitely wouldn't, and I can empathize with that, and I understand why you would feel that way, and I would encourage you as much as I can to not worry about that piece.
Yeah, common thought.
Let the
but
therapist
not,
worry about that part.
There are
Good point.
therapists out there. Everyone will find someone who fits with them. Yeah.
Plus, if it's a true emergency, they're not going to see a therapist. They're going to go to
Yeah.
an emergency room.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
But like if the therapist knows that 20 people are vying for appointments with them and they have 15 appointments, that's their job.
Yep.
Yep.
The triage part of that, that's their job. If you think you might need to go to a therapist or if you think you might benefit from going to a therapist, go try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And we
that's
also-
the answer to the question you're not asking, but like,
Yeah.
go fucking try it.
Well, we also intentionally schedule people sometimes based on their need, right? So we have some people that were like, "Oh, you need to come in next week. Like we're going.
There you
Like,
go.
I want you every Monday at 5." We have other people who are like, "Hey, I think the best pace for us is maybe like every other week or every third week.
Yeah.
And that might be a case with you, is your therapist might say, okay, this is something we're going to work on monthly.
But you see, the therapists do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
They
we can open
actively
up
take
plenty
care of
of
that.
spaces. Yeah, we can always find space for this. So this
Yeah.
question of like confidence, I hear the writer saying, I try to speak out loud. I try to interact. I'm finding that I'm not getting my voice out, even at like a drive-through. I'm not getting myself
To me,
out
it
there.
sounds like a little bit of like maybe social anxiety, agoraphobia type thing. Like, because it almost kind of sounds like it's really around people, but around like society, out
People
in
you
public,
don't know.
people
Yeah.
you don't know. Yeah. And it doesn't really surprise me that maybe this had something to do with COVID, because I've heard that from people as well, where it's like, you know, especially people, lockdown affected all of us a little bit differently. You know, like for me, it was nothing. Like, okay, don't leave the
You
house.
said you're like thriving or something.
Yeah,
You're
like
woo!
it was a convenient excuse for me not to leave the house, you know, and
Right.
it after a while it was kind of annoying, but
Couldn't
it wasn't.
golf.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, we still did that. It wasn't really a huge inconvenience for me
Right.
for the most part, but I know for a lot of people, like
We got
that
to watch
was
Jim
really,
with a shirt tied around his face for a while.
Oh, that was
That
fun.
was fun.
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was for a long time.
Yeah.
Jim wouldn't come in here for a while. I think even after we were all vaccinated. I'm talking to Whitney right now because she's looking
Yeah.
at me with a
Concerned
slightly
look.
less than
Jim's
credulous look on her
avoiding eye
face.
contact because he knows what my face will look like.
Yeah.
What?
All right, so
But he would
I
take
wore
his-
a Boy Scout
he would take
shirt
his
for
son's
years.
Boy Scout shirt
Yeah.
tied around his face
Yeah.
because he felt like he sounded the
helping.
best
Yeah,
speaking through that.
yeah.
And it was still doing something
Yeah.
to help his
And
health.
Piff the Magic Dragon fucking wrecked me for it.
What did he say?
He just is
He's
a
like-
very funny man. That's what he is.
I'll look it up
He's
later.
a good comedian. He ripped me to shreds. Yeah. And then he
Okay.
apologized. He's like, sorry, we're not even on air and I'm just shitting on you. And I was like, yeah, it's cool.
That's funny. I don't remember him apologizing.
I don't remember any part of that.
Your ego may have made that up.
I think he apologized
As
to
a defense
Jacob.
mechanism.
I think he was like, hey man, sorry to shit all over your friend. Jacob was like, no, this is great.
Jacob, I
I'm
support this.
absolutely happy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he spoke directly to Jacob. Was like, sorry, buddy. It's like, no, it's fine. You can hit Jim all you want. I don't give a shit. I throw poker chips at his face.
That is
didn't do
true.
that.
Also
more.
a thing that happened.
It's been a while.
I'm glad that stopped.
they're
So
over
what were we
there.
talking about?
COVID.
COVID. Yeah. So losing kind of your social touch. This is an interesting thing. Would therapy help with this? Yeah, I think it could. And I don't want you to feel any embarrassment or shame about pursuing it. I think if we were working on this, Whitney, do you ever do any, and I'm not trying to make this weird, do you ever do any role playing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, so sexually.
Obviously that,
Obviously.
but, you know.
Yeah. But sometimes
Yeah.
it's a neat example to say, okay, what are you noticing that you do? Oh, I'm very quiet or whatever. And say, okay, we're going to practice in this session.
Yeah.
I want you to bring it up +2. You know, I want your volume to be +2 as the whole conversation. And we're going to get you comfortable hearing your own voice sometimes. Like you've done that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, mine will usually be like if this were a client in my office, they mentioned like the drive-through. I'd be like, all right, I'm the drive-through person.
Right. We're going to do it right now.
Like,
hi there. Welcome
yeah,
to Wendy's.
and I'll just jump in.
I'm Wendy, obviously.
And they kind of giggle. I'm like, no, just restart. We'll try
Yep.
again.
Yep.
Because it feels awkward, but no, as a therapist, it's less awkward. We're
Right.
just
That's
used
the
to it.
workshop.
Yep.
It's where we can cover these things. And what did you feel when we did that just now? Did you know, when I'm playing with you, we get along. We're buddies. Did you notice you were still pretty nervous though?
When I'm playing.
Okay. Let's talk about it. You know, like let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
Sorry.
Did you feel weird when I asked you where that ball gag?
That was awkward, but we'll move past it. But no, yeah, role playing is definitely helpful, especially in a safe space where you trust the person, and finding a therapist that you trust, as we've mentioned before, is super important. And so I could see that being a helpful space, like pursuing a therapist or seeing if there's somebody that you click with to practice and to give you feedback that you trust and won't take to heart. But man, that is very real. I know we were just talking about Jim covering his face with like his kids' clothes or whatever. I don't know what
It was
happened
a Boy
there.
Scout shirt.
Sure.
Which
But
definitely made it worse.
Girl Scout would have been better.
They have great cookies. I always order them.
I didn't see any Girl Scouts this year.
Oh, really? They didn't come
Yeah.
look
at all.
I didn't.
Oh, they know where I am. Like
Oh,
they
they hunt you.
always.
You're on the list.
I meet the quota. Yeah, they come to me
They
and they're
know.
like, "Hey, man, you just want to re up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool. Just deliver in my house, whatever." They're like, "Yay, we're done for the whole semester."
You're like the Kevin Malone of the office.
Yeah.
Kevin
Like,
Malone.
This guy,
yes.
he's a gold mine.
But I feel like a lot of us came out of COVID, and you had to kind of re-stretch that social muscle a little bit.
It was definitely like a social reset.
Yes.
And I think that reset affected everyone a little differently.
Yeah, totally. Different levels. And if
Yeah.
you were naturally a little more introverted, I guess we're going to call Nick. I wouldn't have said that before joining the podcast, but a little more introverted or you like homebodied, that probably felt really comfortable. If you were maybe more extroverted, it was probably more of a struggle. But either way, introverted or extroverted or anywhere in between, I think it was when we aren't practicing something, it feels more normal. So what feels normal is not engaging with other people. And then when you're placed in that situation, even ordering food, it's like we're just hyper focused on how we are being perceived, I think, and how we sound, how we look, how whatever.
Yeah.
All these things we haven't had to do for weeks, months, a year, 2 years, whatever. And then you're kind of thrown back into it. So
Yeah.
that's very normal. I don't know. I want to just like normalize the feeling.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think seeing a therapist is kind of okay, coming from a therapist, and I don't know where you live, Ryder, but coming from somebody who takes insurance in the United States, this would be challenging because there's not a diagnosis. So I just want to share that. I don't know how things work where you are.
Yeah.
But if you came to me, it would have to be a different discussion. Like, okay, I don't know that I mean, maybe it's like a social anxiety, maybe like some mild anxiety, maybe some adjustment disorder, something like something that could be like, I call them like mild diagnoses.
You just reminded me of how often I diagnosed adjustment disorder during COVID.
Oh
That
my
was
gosh.
high 90s percentage wise. Everybody was ADJ.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, so yeah. There could be something to spend some time on, but I don't know that you would meet for a long time through insurance in the United States.
There could be a barrier to that for sure. You know,
if they're just on what you shared.
Even when you think about like speaking comfortably, I like having people record themselves. That is a whole experience for people, as you experienced a year ago.
I was just thinking, I was like, it is. It really is.
It's bizarre. The first time that you hear yourself.
I was a nervous wreck.
You pull out your phone,
like
you download the podcast, you're like, okay, this just exists on the internet.
I know.
And you listen to yourself and you're like, oh my God, that's not what I sound like.
Yeah.
But it's profound, I think, to like interact with your own voice in that like repeated back to you. It's not coming out of your face kind of way.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes it actually makes you feel more comfortable with yourself because, yeah, that's the way you perceive the other 99.999% of humans you've ever interacted with is through your ears, right? And not through your mouth. So it's a fascinating thing to kind of hear your own voice and right-size that in the world. Gives you a little bit more confidence sometimes after it fucks with you.
Yeah.
Which it always does. Deeply. Jacob, you've been podcasting for 35 years.
Ish.
Yeah.
Give or take.
All three of us have been doing this short enough amounts of time that we remember the first time we heard ourselves and thought, fuck, damn it. That's what I sound like, and I'm really unhappy about it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
You really don't?
No, I have no idea when the first time I heard myself recorded was.
Wow.
It wasn't Ice Cream Social. It was pre.
Did you do a podcast before that?
I did a podcast before Ice Cream Social. A buddy of mine and I did a show called Two Dumb Guys in a Hot Tub.
That feels right.
I don't think it still exists anywhere. I don't think you can find it at all. I'll be tickled if it does,
That is
honestly.
deep ICS trivia right now.
It
I don't know
is.
that's ICS public knowledge.
I've never heard.
That's not
about
on the
this
wiki.
before.
That's we're breaking news right now.
I know for sure that it's on a very like this last week bonus episode of Ice Cream Social that went out.
Oh.
Because Matt and I went and attended a podcast festival that we had been invited to, and we put the recording of it on the air. And I said something about
you
it
found it
on there.
Oh, okay. That's just that episode.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But pre that,
I'm getting all porn. I just typed it in and I'm just getting all porn.
Two dumb guys in a hot tub.
All porn.
Yeah.
100%.
The best thing we did, one of the things that I still look back at, I'm going like, that was a good idea, is it was two of us and would do the first half of the show, which is the two of us, and then the second half of the show would do with a guest. And the premise was like, all right, let's go talk to our guest in the hot tub.
Oh, that's
because
great.
like first half of the show, no hot tub. Second half of the show,
Let's
we're
go.
all in the hot tub, and I would put a bed of like water bubbling, just like hot tub noises underneath
that's
that whole part of it.
fantastic.
Oh my
And like
god!
it was just like we stuck with that joke. I liked that. I liked that bit a lot.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Very
So
cool.
I cannot find it. So there's, a great challenge for the Discord community.
Yeah, if it exists somewhere, somebody let me know. I'd be curious if it existed somewhere.
I can't find it. It's all porn. Everything I'm seeing is porn.
Great.
Just
Which
a
might
search
be
history.
it. I don't know. I'm not brave enough to click it.
But that's the first. I think that's the first thing that I kind of self-produced.
There's an Apple podcast called Two Bros, One Tub.
That's not it. That's not it. I mean, I think I still have the episodes on a hard drive somewhere.
I'm sure you do.
There weren't that many of them. I mean,
But that was probably your first time ever hearing yourself.
that was my first time self-publishing something.
Okay.
That definitely was not the first time I had been
Yeah,
recorded.
because in your
and then
career,
heard it. Yeah,
you've
that's
heard
it.
yourself so many times. You're
I just
probably
don't
comfortable
know.
with it.
Like people talk about hating hearing themselves,
Yeah.
and I'm very accustomed to it.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a great voice for radio or anything, but like
Who does?
I'm
Yeah, I don't know.
used to it. I go like, oh, yeah, that's what I sound like. Fine.
Yeah.
yeah. I think the more that you.
I do the same thing that everybody does. Like it doesn't sound like what I think I sound like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like if I listen to that sentence back, it's not going to sound the way I think it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've just gotten used to it. And it doesn't bother me.
I think that goes a long way. Like just hearing the way you sound to other people, which frightens you at first. I don't think that's good for your confidence. But eventually, I think inoculating yourself to it and almost feeling like, oh, people can't hear me when I said that word. I can't hear me when I said that word.
Right.
Okay. Like I want to say that word differently. So,
Oh, like recording myself multiple times a week. I mean, there are literally thousands of hours of me talking on the internet. And looking at the waveforms on the computer screen and everything, it has made me more cognizant of like throwaway sentences or like tail offs at the end of a sentence, and all of those types of things. Whitney is grimacing
Yep.
right now.
I'm like, that's me.
Just narrating Whitney's grimace.
me.
I notice when other people do it, like Whitney. But like I am more cognizant of it now.
Yeah.
But it has definitely changed the
helped
way
you
I
adjust.
speak.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's helped or hurt, but it's changed it.
that is 100% true. And of course, you've all scarred me for life with a bunch of words that you tell me I say wrong that I'm super self-conscious about.
You should be.
Excellent.
I get weird about
That's
it now.
that's
You
the
should fix it.
appropriate
I
type of
add
criticism.
syllables to
Yeah.
words because I'm so self-conscious. So like I'll be in therapy like, so what kind of attributes
Oh my gosh.
do you have that you're proud of? And they're like, what? Are you upset at me? I'm like, no, my friends are assholes. As we wrap up the show, we want to remind you that you can sign up at patreon.com/therapy. You can get the extended show ad-free a day early, as well as enjoy our live chat Discord community and our weekly deep dives, interviews, skill shares, research roundups, and rants. As you're listening to this episode, I will have released something. Come check it out at patreon.com/therapy.
It's a fart. It's always a
definitely
fart.
just 10 minutes of farting. If you have signed up,
That's how I feel about my bonus.
that's
Bathroom
relatively
jams.
about that.
It's literally just an hour of me farting into a
That's
microphone.
all it is. If you have subscribed since April
That
1st,
checked.
we did not know about it as of this recording because we are recording this in the past. So anyway, we will thank you in the next one. But thank you all for supporting us at patreon.com/therapy. And especially we'd like to thank the benevolent, revered, generous, and flagrantly pro-therapy diehards who love you all so much that they give till it hurts, the Thera partners. Thank you, Dirty B. Thank you, Myra. And thank you, Pickett.
Thank you.
And we want to especially thank our bosses, the mysterious and shrouded Illuminati members of the fan club. The Thera producers, thank you, Jake Schneider, Robert Brownie Jr., Mint, Smitty Scoop, Ben Dawn, Judy Schneider, Kayla Lansbury, Mrs. and Mr. Hot Dog Scoop, Malia, Leon Kassab, Mason Miller, Richard Macy, Carolyn Albert, Kevin Chamberlain, Tess Miller, Sammy Scoop, Ben Stanley, Slap in Your Face, Sarah Smith, Adam Hathaway, Byler T, University Jeff, Mike Helm, Paris, Samantha Samantha Cohn, Darren Cunningham, Lib, Team Monaco, Thunder, Cougar, Falcon Scoop, Matt and Lisa Tangeman, Heyo, Oscar Swan Rose, A Sunny Boy, Slurpee Kai, motherfucker, Sandra McWaffle, Dan Martin, and Hannah Marie.
And if you'd like to hear this episode uncut and unedited,
And why wouldn't you?
Pew pew!
and enjoy our spontaneous side projects, go to patreon.com/therapy. And thank you for supporting mental health.
That's all the time we got for this week's session. I want to thank our landlords, Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social Podcast. And thanks to those of you who contributed to our show today. We really appreciate it. Remember, Pod Therapy isn't something to keep all to yourself. Share the episode with the world. Tag us in the socials when you do. It's at PodTherapyGuys or at PodTherapy on Facebook. Don't forget about all the extra stuff at patreon.com/therapy.
And if you want to submit a question to the show, you can ask anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. I'm Nick Tangeman.
I'm
Jim.
Whitney.
Thanks, and we'll see you for your appointments next week.
Y'all.